Thanks for, if you guys are going to be joining to watch the show. We're just going to talk about today's games, just the review of the three games today, and then we'll probably just do a preview of tomorrow's games. I'm actually joined by Modern Bok. I did a show with him in this last week. You should really go look at his channel. I'll try put a link down to his channel down below. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? Great to get the first full day of Rugby World Cup done, and quite some amazing games already.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed all three games, but for completely different reasons.
Yeah, I have highlights from all of them.
What I'm thinking of doing is I'm just going to put down. I've created some graphics for the World Cup, and I'm just going to put them on the screen. I'm just going to share it quickly, if you don't mind. My temperature on my machine's dropped down quite drastically, so I should be able to do this now.
Cool. Let's hope for technical situation.
And there we go. So what I've got, Chaz, I've got the review of the three games today, and then down below I've obviously got the preview for the three games tomorrow, and those are my Super Brew scores. So those are what I've predicted to be in Super Brew, and I might as well ask you while you're here, exactly the same. What you think is going to happen in the games. But let's start with the first game, the Fiji-Australia game. Australia winning that game 39-21. What did you think of the game?
I thought it was quite an amazing game. Fiji gave it to them full on for the first 50 to 60 minutes. They really hammered them, had some amazing tactical play, something you don't really always see from a Fijian side, and were able to slow down the game when they needed to. And especially for the first 60 minutes of the game, they were controlling it. I felt Australia did a good thing to get through the end. But and I think the professional players of Australia helped there, and it's quite sad to see the Caribbean Kurandrani from Fiji actually are the ones hammering Fiji, but it's one of those things. But I think it was a really good game. Fiji delivered, and unfortunately, fitness and just the pace of the game got to them.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I thought they had quite a lot of good tactical kicking in the beginning. Yeah. I thought that their 10 played really well tactically. Yeah. And I must admit, Australia did get caught a few times trying to play open, expansive rugby, and that's just like suicide against the Fijians. And the Fijians were all over when Australia were doing that. But then when Australia started using their set piece, started going up the middle, started just playing more structured kind of rugby, I think they came storming back into the game. And at the end, they deserved their victory.
No, exactly. I fully agree with you. I think that the fact that they got Fiji to start playing their style, and definitely in the second half started just slowly calming everybody down. The nerves of the World Cup ending. Australia definitely deserved that. They started to just force some small things and really make sure that to counter the Fijians' physicality and actually outstanding tactical skills. So I was very impressed with Fiji, and they're going to be a handful. But Australia also showed the maturity of the team and why they probably are definitely going to be quite a big one in this World Cup.
I agree. But I think the next game. Hey, Sinbin, it's good to have you back on the show, and love rugby. So obviously we're through to the next game. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this game. Definitely a game of two halves by a long shot. I thought France were really, really good in the first half, and in the second half I think they let the ball slip. But what impressed me the most, more than anything, was the Argentinian set piece. I had basically written them off before the World Cup with their scrumming and with all of that, and I think they are showing glimpses of their true DNA from my point of view. What did you think?
Exactly. They were very impressive in the scrums. I mean, they had a bunch of scrum penalties go their way. They really performed there. Unfortunately, some lapses in judgment, some small moments, some amazing French brilliance cost them in the first half. I think the nerves settled for Argentina in the second half, and I was quite impressed. Also, on the other side, impressed with the French guys to close it out. My Super Bowl pick was France by 5. So I'm happy that it kind of was close, but whew. That was some tense last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was. And look, it could have gone either way. I think it was Buffelli that missed that kick. But those are the high pressure kind of kicks that you have to get, if you're going to win big games like that. But overall, I thought it was a cracker of a game. I honestly thought, wow, both games delivered the way that I wanted. And I was going cheap as I don't think the New Zealand-South Africa game was going to be better than that game. And I was fairly surprised.
Wow, I agree with you. I mean, like, the World Cup is upping the level every game. This game really, there was just a lot of great moves. For France, wow, he really had some quality tactic, quality steps, some really strong runs that hurt the Argentinians. And I think it's all about moments in this. Like, what I found about this first day is just like trying to capitalize on those small moments. It doesn't matter if you may be dominating or not, but continue getting the scoreboard ticking on your side of the field, either to keep you in the running or to keep you to pull your lead away. Both of those are essential here. And I mean, all three of these games have moments where it doesn't matter if you're winning or not, like to get points on in the counter and actually then turn the momentum of the game.
Yeah, but look, I think it was a must-win game for both teams.
Yes.
But yeah, it will make France's road to try and make the quarters a little bit easier than Argentina, because now Argentina can't lose any games at all. So yeah, I thought it was a super close game and it was highly entertaining.
If I was an English fan, I'd be a little nervous. Both these teams really could deliver it. I mean, the weakest part of what we thought was the Argentinian side was going to be that scrum, and they really just delivered it, and they were much better. And I think it's a little bit of the rest before the World Cup, maybe playing too much rugby and Super Rugby, that has helped them a lot. And
Look,
I think they're just going to get.
Sorry, I wasn't super impressed with Angus Gardner. But I'm not going to pick on refs. But I wasn't super impressed with the way that he officiated. He didn't hear the offside call from the linesman, and he let the try go through. And there was quite a few issues that happened. But yeah, you can't cry over spilt milk. At the end of the day, you got to score your tries well beforehand, before the ref incident. But let's go on to the best game of the day. By a long shot, I honestly felt that this was the best game of the day. The New Zealand-South Africa game. Jeepers, what a humdinger there in Japan.
Damn, I cannot believe that game. I mean, just really some moments of dominance. Then New Zealand showing why they are the world's best team, and in split seconds tearing apart the defense, and South Africa being able to build and recover a little bit. But I think it was really just a showcase of what South Africa is here to do. They were really crushing the New Zealand line and trying to cause a lot of mistakes, and they did for about the first 15 minutes. It was very, very promising. Then New Zealand showed their classic, like literally tiny mistake cut you apart. Unfortunately, a wayward pass from Faf and some just a little bit shaky moments. I felt Faf and Pollard had some, and even Villy, some rather poor tactical kicks. They were just not landing where I think they wanted them to.
Yeah, three main decision makers in the back line were they weren't on song. I was looking at Pollard when he was doing the kickoffs, and I couldn't understand why because normally he does bombs, they hit 100 meters up in the air and then they come down, and it just seemed they were quite flat, and it just didn't give an opportunity at the kickoff for anybody to contest, because none of the balls were contested ever, and then Faf's kicks were just, I don't know, what my opinion is, once you've done something 3 times and it hasn't worked, then try something else.
You think, right? You'd think. I mean, It was a case of, it was consistent. And the problem is that Aaron Smith was schooling him, because his kicks were pinpoint. So I think that's what bothered me the most, was that I wonder if it was Faf's ego just trying to I can also do it. And he just kept on trying. But it was really something he should have moved away from. And I think that moment of I feel South African dominance in the second half was led on the fact that we had some good runs. And obviously, Cheslin Colby for president. Oh, my word. That guy is like soap. I think he probably is a soap bar wearing a South African jersey.
Hey, Joe, welcome to the show. Joe's a long-time supporter of the channel.
How you doing?
So, look, I felt there were two very equally matched sides for completely different reasons. There was probably 5 minutes where South Africa took their eye off the ball, literally took their eye off the ball, and they were well-deserved tries. That's what New Zealand are known for. That's what they're good at. You make one mistake and they punish you, and that's what happened. In the same token, our try in the second half, they made a mistake and we punished them. So I I honestly felt there were two equally matched sides, and it could have gone either way, but it went the way of New Zealand. And I've got to congratulate them. They were the better team on the day.
No, exactly that. I think that they were the better team. They did come, I think, tactically weak. South Africans, obviously, I've had some friends and some fans on the channel moaning a little bit about the ref situation. I'm not going to bring it up too much. But I think that in the end, New Zealand were the better team, but by a tiny margin. I think South Africa, there were moments where the one team was dominant. I felt like New Zealand, when the rush defense worked for South Africa, they had some crazy passes. They really put themselves under pressure heavily in that game with the crazy passes. But I think that the South Africans on the other side hurt themselves because our biggest tactical players could not find space, could not really attack in a way that was meaningful.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna say one thing about the ref. I did feel that the breakdown just was not managed very well.
Oh, yeah.
I really didn't think it was managed at all, especially that last penalty against the Springboks. You just got to rewind the tape a little bit, and you can see what was wrong. And Dwayne Vermeulen had every right to that ball, and it just was let go. But that's besides the point. At the end of the day, we should have scored 2 more tries than them early on in the game. So I'm not saying we lost because of the ref. I'm just saying I'd like to have consistency going forward.
Exactly. And I mean, also, for example, that counter-attack after the second time we got to the try line in about the 70th minute, when Aaron Smith does his quick move and he's about to pass it, falls, knocks the ball, picks it up, and still's allowed to pass it. Those moments change games, and it caused us to be all the way back with the Islander having to do some magic to save it. And I just find that kind of thing, New Zealand in some ways deserve the fact that something that Rusty's mentioned in the week, that they definitely get the bounce sometimes just because they are a forcing team that moves so fast. Refs often miss calls, and that's fair. But it is something that the linesmen and the side judges definitely need to focus on.
Do you think I'm just saying that they maybe manage their officials a lot better than other teams? That everyone has access to the ref, the captains have access to the ref, and they just know how to manage the refs and the officials a little bit better than everybody else. And maybe that's a skill everybody else needs to learn as well. So we'll just let that go. I'm going to talk about. I'll talk about Colby was just magnificent. The way if he had scored that try at the end, that literally would have been the try of the decade. Going through 8-9 New Zealanders just to get to the try line, that would have been sublime. That guy has to. For me, he was man of the match.
Exactly, he was my man of the match. He was my man of the match by a long shot. Another player that performed really well was Kitshoff. What concerns me was we had a couple of players walk off the field with niggles. I mean, Trevor, I think his tournament might be over. I hope that it's not the case though. And then obviously Colby was definitely looking shaky in the last 5 minutes, along with Peter Steff, I think also. So those concern me.
We can't lose Peter Steff. That would just be catastrophic.
Again, top. He broke the most gain line of anybody in the tournament, of anybody in the game. Really great. And obviously Cheslin, most meters made, really great. Like he was outstanding. I think 13 carries, 118 meters run. Wow.
Coming back to New Zealand. I'll tell you, I'm still not sold on the 10-15 between Barrett and Mo'unga. I'm still not sold on it. I saw some brilliance where they were doing the kicks to the outsides, and those were working really well. But I still don't see it. I just think Beauden Barrett, he's a special player for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. But maybe we'll see it more in the quarters than anything else. So. But all I can say is, well done to New Zealand. They're on track to be world champions again. And I think both teams put a statement out there to say, listen, we're both here. This is the kind of quality you need to play to move forward.
Exactly. I mean, I think it was a case of both teams had a great game. It was an amazing game for fans. The stronger team on the day won. But I think the fact of the matter is New Zealand still, unlike a lot of other games, New Zealand did have to really work for this, which as a South African fan, I'm happy to see.
Oh yeah. When we were 17-3 down at halftime, I thought, oh shit, here we go. They're going to score another try, another 2 tries. We're going to be 28 points behind. And I thought, oh my God. And
I had a bit of a nightmare about that last night. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Yeah. And I thought, geez, this would be my 6 o'clock chat might be a little bit more depressing than normal.
You have a brandy in the hand kind of thing.
But listen, I thought it was a great day. Great day of games. Overall, 3 great games for the day. But maybe let's go talk about tomorrow's game. We'll just do the preview of the 3 games. Just for anyone who's just joined the channel, that's my Super Breeze scores. So that's the point spread that I see for those 3 games. I've got Modern Bok here. Maybe he'll give his take on what he thinks the point spread is. But let's take the first game, Italy versus Namibia. Obviously, the other Group B game.
I think that's going to be quite an interesting game. I think Namibia here are going to just try and showcase some skills and really try and get themselves up there. But Italy here are just going to try and get as much points on board here. Definitely aim for a bonus point win, I would assume, on this game. I think that's where they're going to be aiming.
Sorry, I just got sidetracked with a comment.
No problem. Yeah, I've gone for a substantially higher number than that for the Italy-Namibia game. But I get what you're saying. I think Namibia, if they can play together properly, I think they'll be fine. That Kings game where they played showed a lot of resilience in the last 10 minutes, which I think was good, considering that they were behind and came back. But Italy, I think, definitely have just got the more talented players to be able to pull this through. And they probably have a lot more fitness. Because I've noticed this is where these games are changing, especially for your 2 nations, is that it's the last 20 minutes that your nations which aren't playing all the time just cannot keep up.
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree. I like the Namibian coach. I can't remember his name, the Welsh gentleman. But yeah, I still haven't been impressed with Italy this year. I think they just scraped by against Russia. They thumped Russia. Sorry, I got that completely wrong. But yeah, I haven't been fully impressed. I wasn't completely impressed with them in the 6 Nations. But none of us have really seen Namibia this year play. And look, I think Namibia are going to give them a go. I think in Namibia's books, if they score 2 tries, they'll be super happy.
Yes, exactly. I think it's going to be Namibia's playing for a massive amount of pride, which is useful. I mean, Russia did it in the first day where they really just had some stunning moves and some stunning plays. When you're playing for pride like that, you can get some amazing rugby. But unfortunately, the clock clicking down will definitely start pointing Italy's way heavily.
No, I 100% agree. And look, yeah, I fully agree with your predictions there. What was your point spread for that game?
I said Italy by 30. I know that sounds like a lot, but unfortunately, they didn't impress me at all against in the game against the Kings. They did at least have a little bit of resilience in the end. But I might have to reevaluate after today, but I'm probably gonna go that 30, 25, 30 is where I currently am. I'm definitely feeling.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'd actually forgotten that they lost against the Southern Kings, and very few teams lose against the Southern Kings. Let's be completely honest here. Now we go to probably the biggest game of the day, which was obviously the clash between Ireland and Scotland. What are your thoughts on this game?
For me, this is going to be a game of United Kingdom pride. I think that's going to be what the hallmark of it. The Irish, I think, are definitely the favourites in this. But Scotland, don't ever discount the Hodge man himself. He's quite a legend. And the fact of the matter is that Scotland here, this is the game where they can, no matter what happens in this tournament, if they win this game, they can hold this over them for the next 4 years. That's the kind of fact that this is what this game is all about to me. So I think that the Scottish are going to come with something special. The question, and I do believe that Irish have enough to stop them. They've had a good build-up, but it wouldn't surprise me if Scotland pull one out the bag here.
I'm trying to see. I thought that's what Joe meant. The island doesn't form part of the UK. That's like what's a red flag to a bull,
Sorry. The island area there, my mistake. I'm sorry. That island. The fact of the matter, the neighbours. It's like us in Namibia. Sorry.
Well, look, I'm expecting a fairly close game. I don't think Scotland have the firepower to take on Ireland. I really don't. But yeah, Scotland, on their day, they can beat anyone. Let's be honest. Any of these top tier 1 nations can beat anyone on their day. But I just think Ireland are such a well-drilled outfit. I think they're well-trained. I think they're fit. And but I still think it's going to be a close game, and I've said by 5 points.
Yeah, I've gone by 9. I think that Ireland are going to be able to although to be fair, In the South Africa game going earlier, like the scrums weren't as much of a benefit as I thought they were going to be. They helped a little bit Argentina, but I've got a feeling Ireland here are going to just scrum the Scottish a little bit down, and those points are going to be ticking, and when they can, they'll definitely be going for tries. So I said by 9, but it's a tough one. But it's definitely in those low 10, under 10 is where I think it's going to be.
Joe was saying that 15 plus spread with the bookies. So I just think it's going to come down to some kind of brilliance. But I think it's what I've noticed, especially in these first couple of games, is that there's a lot of nerves and there's a lot of things that happen on the day. So I think you just got to get your first game out. It's a big tough game for both sides. But yeah, I still see Ireland, even though it's winning by 5. I say it's a comfortable win by 5.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be, especially in if they can get themselves ahead before the 50th minute, the last 30 minutes, I think, are going to be relatively comfortable. They're very good at controlling the game, maintaining the possession and maintaining their style of play. So I think Ireland are definitely going to feel comfortable, and that's where it's going to matter. Can Scotland hit anything in those last 30? I don't know. That's where I think that this is where Ireland's going to win their game.
Look, I'm just looking forward to watching the game, to seeing where Ireland's form is, because it probably looks like we're going to be facing them in the quarters, unless something miraculous happens. But yeah, it'd be nice to see what kind of form they're on, and then we can make even better predictions, because I think we've had so many predictions before the World Cup. Might as well just carry on while we're doing it. Let's go into the last game. We've got England versus Tonga, and I've put England to win by 27. Not because even though I think it was 80 points or 80 points plus that New Zealand put on them, I just don't think England are going to play all their big players. I don't think Owen Farrell will be playing. I'm not sure. I haven't really seen the team sheet, so I don't know. But I don't think they're going to play the Vunipolas. I really don't. So they're going to be playing their B side, for want of a better word. And I see it still 27 points is a bit of a thumping, but I don't see it's going to be the runaway kind of game that we're expecting.
Exactly. I'm not going to definitely not predicting that the kind of thumping that happened for New Zealand against them earlier this month. England, I think they're going to try and go into this game to manage it as much as possible. You do not want to go get some injuries. I mean, these Tongans are also no joke, and it's going to be a case of just getting the bonus point and leaving. I think that they're going to put the foot off the pedal quite a bit once they get their bonus point, maybe a padding for the bonus point. But effectively, that's it. I don't see them trying to get much more. I've gone for 30 here also. It's a little high, but I feel that they're going to their whole plan is get the bonus point and get out of there.
Okay, yeah, no, I fully agree. I agree with you 100%. That was the one disappointing thing about the South African loss today. Is there bonus points in this World Cup for being within certain points, losing?
As far as I know, there's within 7. There is, yeah. There's also the 4 points tries, yeah. All of that also.
I never keep up, because I know only recently they've added bonus points to Six Nations and things like that. So you just never know which comp is what.
No, the rules keep on changing on us. We've got to keep up updated.
Well, I think we've covered everything. I try not to make the show too long, just cover everything. So I think we've. Just to sum it up, I think we've had an absolutely cracker day of rugby. I think we're going to be really treated to probably one of the toughest games tomorrow with Ireland and Scotland. And but I think so far the World Cup has really lived up to everything that I've been expecting.
Exactly. I think the hype has been building, and I can't believe it actually has lived up to exactly what I wanted. It's been one hell of a day of rugby and some amazing tries. Just a shout out to that moment in the New Zealand game where they I can't even remember who passed it, where he's just about to go out and he does a fling to Bowden and Bowden somehow clears it. That is some amazing things over the try line, like just skill there. But I think overall this whole World Cup has had some highlights that you just cannot get anywhere else.
Yeah, the only thing that's disappointing for me is that De Allende still can't pass.
I know. You'd think he'd learn by now, but he has a hard time. He really does.
Well, I just want to say thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. It's been really And Modern Bok, I'll send you a link to Irish geography.
I'm never going to go down, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. More of a case of the area. It's far from me. It's to be fair, they're a combination of. Okay, I'm sorry. I condone that. That was wrong. I'm sorry.
This you got to imagine. It's because I live in the Western Cape. It's calling me a Stormers fan. That's like the biggest insult in the world.
That's fair. I'm sorry. I will make sure I cover that next time. I'll make a whole video on Irish geography for you guys. I promise.
Thanks everyone for joining us in the chat. Thanks everyone for staying up late and actually putting some great comments. I'll have Modern Bok on again when he's got a bit of time, and because it's really, really good banter. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. And Modern Bok, if you could just tell people how they can get into your channel and stuff like that, just a quick run through on yourself.
So obviously, I also covered some great do some coverage of the games, focusing on the World Cup and obviously as much as possible, especially this. So please go check out my channel down below if it's going to be down below at Modern Bok on YouTube. And I've also let me know on my side, and please subscribe if you can get there. I'd love to get the following, the gather of the following. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Thanks everyone for joining us on the live chat, and we'll be back in the show tomorrow. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.